I'm going to change the order of protocol slightly, so I start by saying dear graduates. Dear René van der Linden, Chairman of the Board, the Dean, the Governor of the National Bank of Rwanda, and so many other dignitaries, and I think you explained it very well, Master of Ceremonies. I think the Dutch diamond is more or less here. It means companies, NGOs, knowledge institutions, and government. It's a great honor to be here, but of course my minister, Minister Ploemen, would have liked to be here to speak to you and to congratulate the graduates, but she couldn't because she's traveling to India at the moment. I'm happy to be here because I think we have a lot in common. In fact, I think our areas of focus are converging. Your school has been ahead of time with its focus on management capacity for sustainable growth and trade. We have only recently started to link development cooperation and trade in a structural way, leading to a new basis for our policy. Minister Ploemen makes this very clear by being the first to combine aid, trade and investment in one portfolio. This policy change is a response to our rapidly changing world. There is a new dynamic, it was already mentioned, creating many new opportunities and challenges. It struck me that many of you, the graduates, have looked into aspects of these changes in your thesis. Therefore, I would like to elaborate a bit on these changes in the world and what it means for our policies. And if I mention some of the graduates, I'm using their first names, so I hope you accept my apologies for that, Dutch being rather direct, but it makes it a little bit easier. El-Bashir, Ashkan, Morgan and Simeon, you have looked into foreign direct investment and trade in your thesis. And for a good reason, because these flows are in flux. Between 1980 and 2010, developing countries almost doubled their share of world merchandise trade, from 25% to nearly 50%, according to the OECD. Asia, Africa and Latin America are becoming the engines driving the world economy, according to the UNDP report, Rise of the South. They are expected to account for nearly 60% of the global economy by 2030. In Africa, GDP is expected to rise by an average of 6% a year, not least thanks to foreign direct investment. FDI has tripled from 15 billion in 2002 to 46 billion in 2012. Private capital flows, investments, remittances, and commercial credits are becoming ever more the driving forces behind development. This is a major shift. According to the OECD, only 13% of financial flows from north to south are official development assistance. So you see, ODA has become relatively less important. It is still a relevant source for lower income countries, but less so in middle income countries. What does this mean for our international cooperation policy? These developments call for a new aid, trade and investment agenda. At the international level, we are pursuing three important aims. First, to eradicate extreme poverty, getting to zero in a single generation. Second, sustainable inclusive growth all over the world. And third, success for Dutch companies abroad. I already mentioned the Minister combining two portfolios. Working on this new agenda requires a different approach. We have started to differentiate more between countries. With regard to this, we have applied three categories of countries: those where we stick to aid, those where we support a transition from aid to trade, and those with whom we trade.